And so it's Friday, and on Fridays we've been doing some strengthening, and we're gonna have that again be part of our work this morning, is a strengthening piece. But let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. You're welcome to close your eyes. And just for this beginning part of class, I'm just going to go ahead and just mute everyone except myself, just in order to have that place of quiet, just in case there's some sort of background noise that might show up in one of our spaces. So find the surface beneath you. And drop your attention there. And allow that to, you notice how the flesh of your body meets the surface. How the left side of the body meets that, and how the right side meets it. And it's very likely you may feel a difference. And can you go ahead and reach even into the earth? You feel your connection all the way down to the ground. And you lengthen your spine and deepen your breath. Drop into your ujjayi breathing with the tip of the tongue placed lightly behind the upper two teeth, a hollowness at the back of the throat. And can you make your ujjayi this 1-to-1 ratio, balancing the inhale with the exhale? And can you make the breath smooth? At the bottom of your next exhale, release any control on your breath. And simply notice if, while you're seated right now, are the shoulders relaxed? And see if you get a sense of the support that's coming up the front of your spine. You might even try just following that support. If you start toward the base of the spine and then coming up along the front side of your spine. Taking your time to travel all the way up through the lumbar spine, and then you come into the thoracic spine, and all the way up through the front of your neck, the spine at the front of the neck, and all the way to the back of the throat, the tongue. And so this is part of the deep front line of the body. So can this part of you hold you up in sitting without adding tension in the outer body, in the sleeve of your body? How do I hold myself without tensing through my shoulders or the muscles in my quads? How do I let that part be easeful? This deep front line, there is some involvement of the adductors, they're part of it. And then bring your hands in front of your heart, honoring your curiosity and your willingness and the discipline, tapas, to take the time to come to your mat this morning. And we'll chant together the sound of Om. And let's sing Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Let's take a deep inhale. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. With your next exhale, and bow your head towards your heart. And then release your hands and lift your gaze. All right, so we're going to start our practice in Virasana this morning. So if you'll come to your, on your mat, and you're going to take the knees together, the heels are wide apart. If if sitting in, well, first I'll go through this. I like to have a block between my heels. Some of you might need more than one block. Some of you might need some space at the back of the knees, or we could take the flesh of the calf and kind of draw it out and back and come into Virasana. Now, if sitting in Virasana is completely out of the question for you, don't worry about it. You can take you could take a simple cross-legged seat. That's fine. If Virasana works, then let's come to Virasana. All right, great. Let's inhale, take the arms out, wide. And then with the next exhale, you're going to twist towards your right. So your right hand comes behind you, left hand across to the outer right knee. And just for a moment, I want to draw your attention into the space between the top of the pelvis on the right and the lower left front rib cage. So with the exhale, can you gently turn the lower left front rib cage toward the top of the pelvis on the right. So this is the abdominals, the obliques turning here. All right, then we're going to exhale, come back to center. Rest the hands on the thighs. Take a deep breath in. And then we'll inhale the arms out. Exhale, we're turning towards your left. So left hand comes behind. You can always have a block back there or a blanket or something to just touch that down. Right hand comes across. And with your next exhale, can you draw the lower right rib cage in the front? I'm not saying you pull it down towards the upper left pelvis, but you're bringing it over toward that same plane. All right, and then we'll exhale and we'll come back to center. Let's inhale, take the arms straight out. Exhale, clasp them, draw them towards you. Push your hands away, opening up the palms. Inhale, lifting both arms up. Exhale, release both arms. Reach out the heels of your hands. The arms float down. Bring the hands forward again. Change the clasp. Draw the hands towards you using your breath. Press the palms open away from you. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, lift both your arms. Lengthening all the way through. If you remember that posterior deltoid lengthens up. The front of the shoulder joint softens back. And then we're going to exhale, release the hands. All right, and then we'll come off it. If you're in Virasana, you'll come off of your blocks. If you're cross-legged, you'll come out of that. Let's just come over to all fours for a moment. And take right leg straight back, open the back of the right knee joint. So I've got the right toes on the ground, and I'm opening the back of my right knee. And then exhale, bring the right knee back to its parking spot. Inhale on all fours. Exhale, take the left leg back. You open the back of the left knee joint, closing the front of the left knee, opening the back of the left knee. You can still be practicing Ujjayi. And then with the next exhale, bringing that knee back into its parking spot. Good. Can we go back? Inhaling in the middle, exhale now. Let's take right leg back. Let's pick up the right leg and left arm. Think about the midline again, the midline of your body. Your next exhale, lowering the arm and the knee. Excuse me. Inhale on all fours. Exhale, again, opposite arm and leg. Opening the back of the knee on the back leg. Other arm forward. And what about the midline? So this is work with the abdominals at the core, at the front of the spine. Exhale, we're lowering. All right, great. And then let's walk the hands back. And let's come onto your back. And we'll come onto your back. You can always put a blanket down if you need more padding. So lying on your back for a moment now with your feet on the floor. And you're noticing where your body contacts the ground. Where does your body touch the earth? The back of the head, where? The upper back, which part? The pelvis, the heels, the ball of the foot, and all 10 toes. All these are all primary curves of the body. So now we're going to draw, the breath is going to come in through the nose. And I want you to slowly exhale out the mouth like you're exhaling out a straw. So the inhale through the nose. And the exhale out the pursed lips. Inhale through the nose again. Exhaling out the mouth, that slow straw exhale. See if you notice as you work with this exhale out the mouth, what's happening through your connection to the earth? What's happening with the shape of your body? On the exhale, do you feel more broad across the lower back ribs? On the inhale, do you feel your body naturally come back to its neutral place? But on that long, slow exhale, do you feel a slight change? And some tone in the belly. All right, so now what we're going to do, you can release the breath, is bring the hands behind your head, clasp them, bring the elbows toward each other. We're going to take another deep inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth and lift the head up with the hands, rest the head in the hands. So now you feel the lower back rib cage. Now, when you inhale, I want the inhale to be up in the ribs, not in the belly. The exhale back out, that slow, long exhale out those pursed lips. So toning through this deep abdominal layer, it's easier to find with that exhale out the mouth. And then we're going to roll the head back down and just rest in neutral for a moment. Now I wish I could see you all better. I'll probably take a look at you in this next part because we're going to add another piece. So you're going to inhale through the nose. Exhale slowly out the mouth, lift the head again. Slide the lower front ribs towards the navel. Inhale into your rib cage. Exhale, lift the feet from the ground. Is the exhale long. The inhale through the nose in the ribs, not in the belly. The exhale long and slow out the straw breath. You feel the abdominals working. And then we'll go ahead and bring the feet to the ground, the upper back, the back of the head, and rest again. Let's walk the feet wide as your mat for a moment. Let the knees rest in and just reach your arms overhead. So now there's a little more of a curve in the low back. All right, now let's bring the inhale, lift the arms back up, walk the feet back to hip distance. We're going to add toe taps to this last part, the part we were doing before. But I just want to make sure that when you are doing this, that you feel how the lower back rib cage finds a better connection to the ground. The top of the pelvis also is better connected, and you should feel a deep wrapping all the way around towards the linea alba, that midline of the abdomen, all the way from pubic bone to the ribs. All right. So if you don't feel that, if once you lift your feet, you feel that you lose your connection to the ground, then keep the feet down. Or say you lift the feet and that's all good, but once you start toe tapping, you feel the low back, a different connection to the floor. Then you want to not do the toe tap. You want to stay in integrity during the movement. All right, and I'm happy to take questions as well. All right, and so let's take hands behind the head, elbows toward each other. Take a deep inhale through the nose. With the exhale, we'll lift the head up. You don't have to pick it up far. It's just helping you connect that the lower front rib cage is sliding down. With your next exhale out that straw breath, go ahead and lift the heels and the toes from the ground. And then with your next straw exhale, slowly tap the right toes down and back up. And I want you to go very slow with this. The inhale is in the rib cage. The inhale is through the nose. The exhale is out this straw breath. And then you're going to lower the head back down and the feet. And ask a question if you have one. All right, one more set of those. Inhale, there you are. Exhale, lift the head, let the front ribs slide down, and you feel a better connection to the lower back rib cage on the ground. The inhale is in your rib cage. Your exhale Out the mouth, slow like a straw, pick up the feet. Some of you might take and lift the shins. And the exhale, we're doing the toe tap again. And we're not in a hurry. The exhale is where the foot and knee, the leg goes away from the body. The inhale, it comes back up, and we're going slow. And then we'll relax the lower shins, feet to the ground, upper back head. We'll walk the feet out wide as the mat, reach the arms overhead again. All right, and then let's have you roll over to one side and use the arms to push yourself up. And let me show you one more thing that we're going to do. And this is the one where I often give this assignment to people who are having hip problems. This comes from the Postural Restoration Institute. John Haruska is the physical therapist who I got this from. But sometimes when people come and see me and they have hip issues, I give them this exercise. And I've done it in strength and conditioning. So you don't have to have a chair, but you might. You could take your feet to a wall. That also works. But we want to engage the hamstrings. So when the feet are at the wall, sometimes people push into the wall. If your feet are at the wall, you're actually isometrically pulling the feet down so that the hamstrings engage. If I'm using a chair or a piece of furniture of some sort, I can press my heels down and I feel, oh yeah, these hamstrings are toning right now. Then you can take your yoga block. Sometimes I roll up a bath towel and use that because it's a little softer than my yoga block. But here, I'm going to put the block between the inner thighs. And in a moment, on the exhale, I'll be pressing down with my heels, squeezing with the inner thighs. And then with the abdominals, I'll just be lifting the sit bones from the ground, not high up. The exhale is going to be out the mouth. The lower ribs need to slide down. Okay. So if, I don't know if you can see, it's probably like watching paint dry, but I'm going to do one here. I'm going to inhale up in the rib cage and exhale again. Sometimes I notice, oops, I forgot the lower front ribs. Okay, so you get the idea. We're just going to do like four rounds of the breath with the hips lifted. You ready? Get set up in your spot. Feet on the wall or the heels on top of a chair. If your feet are on the wall, you're going to isometrically pull the feet towards the ground. Hands can be resting out on the ground. When you're ready, you're going to inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, press the heels down. Squeeze the block and just curl the sit bones, like your pubic bones coming towards your navel. Slide the lower front ribs. Really squeeze with the inner thighs. And take 2 more breaths here. Make sure the lower front rib cages come down. And that you're really squeezing that block. All right, and we'll release. We'll take the block out from the inner thighs. So you could do like, you know, several sets of those, but you don't have to. And then let's just take one leg up towards the sky. All right, and then the other one, just to open the knee joint. Then we'll slide off that chair or away from the wall, roll over to one side. And then if I used my chair, I'm just gonna move it out of the way. Grab your yoga blocks, bring them to the top of the mat. You can have them on whichever height you want, any height you want to have them on. You're gonna go into here, downward facing dog. We haven't opened up the backs of the calves, so we've got our hands up on blocks, so we have a little more height. And can you use the length of the inhale now to come to plank? The inhale is through the nose. And your exhale, you could go either out the nose or out that straw breath, transitioning back to downward facing dog. The inhale forward. And the exhale back. Here, again, how do you stay steady on the midline? As you transition into plank, do you feel a wobble in the body? Where there's more weight on one arm and then the other arm. How are you going, how do you negotiate and become more steady rather than going that little shifting back and forth? You have to go slow. Using your breath. Yeah. Oh, that's so good. It's become more steady. Do you think you've gotten more steady with this? Yeah. Excellent. And then the next time you're back in your downward facing dog, let's take a deep inhale there. And let's exhale and step the right foot forward. So we've got our hands on our blocks. We're in this lunge. You may have noticed, right, that you need the adductors, the inner thigh, to be toned. Whether it was in the one we did where we were really squeezing the block, or whether you were just doing plank pose. The inner thigh of the back leg is toned, is reaching all the way towards the back heel. We're going to step back to plank, downward facing dog. Inhale in downward dog. And exhale, step the left foot forward. Lengthening, reaching all the way back from that inner hamstring, reaches all the way back to the inner heel. Great, and then let's inhale, step forward, and exhale, fold forward. Your inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. Let's inhale, bend both knees. And exhale to chair pose. You feel the inner thighs helping. Can you take the abdominal organs back towards the front of the sacrum, towards the front of the spine? And then with your next inhale, straighten both legs. And exhale, hands down in front of the heart. And we've been doing some stepping back, and we're going to do that right now as well. So let's inhale the arms out wide. Exhale, bend both knees. You don't have to go deeply into chair, just like a small bend. Shift the weight into the left heel and reach the right foot back. Lift the torso away from the front thigh. Turn the palms up, inhale, upright lunge. Inhale the arms out. So exhale, you're going to airplane. So lower front ribs come more down towards the navel. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, release both arms. Inhale the arms wide. Make a small knee bend. So as you commit to this right heel, inner heel, outer heel, and reach the left foot back. And maybe add the arms up alongside the ears. Inhale the arms wide, the blue sky, wow. Exhale, bow halfway, airplane. Step to chair pose. Your next inhale, straighten the legs. And exhale, hands back in front of the heart. And then we'll release both arms. Okay. So now let's take Parsochanasana, a little series of Parsochanasana. So let's step your right foot back. The right foot goes back. Both legs are straight. The back foot has a slight turnout. You're pointing straight ahead. We're going to do a little series where the hands are going to come behind us. So if you inhale, take the arms out. And as you exhale and bow forward, bring the hands behind you. You can take, like left hand on the bottom, right hand is kind of resting in the left palm. You're bowing forward. Inhale, press into the front leg, come up. Take the arms back wide. Exhale, bow forward again. You can do the straw exhale and you switch which hand is on top. The inhale coming up. Arms wide. Again, exhale, bowing forward. So you might have the left hand on the bottom, the right hand on top. And you come all the way forward. Your inhale, come up. Arms go wide. And the exhale, one more time on the side. Straw breath. Releasing while you're down there. Use the inhale, coming up. And then we'll exhale, step forward. Ready for the second side? Okay. Always, you can ask questions if you're curious or something's not clear. And when you're ready, let's step the left foot back. Left foot back, right foot forward. The left heel has a slight turnout. The feet are hip distance wide. The pelvis is pointing straight ahead. Inhale, the arms wide. And the exhale, that's good. You're bowing forward. The hands can come behind you. You can be exhaling out the mouth. Take your time. See what we'll do on this. And the inhale, you rise. Reach into the front leg. Good. And the exhale, down again. Take your time and move with the length of the breath. When you do bow forward, go all the way. Great, Sherry. That's it. Yep. The inhale, you come up. Just taking the time because there's a lot of strength. The exhale, you bow. You take your time. Move at your pace. When you bow forward, if you can release the head, release the forehead. Great. Yeah. And I think this is the fourth time that you're coming down. That's it. And on the inhale, when you reach into that front foot and pressing down to come all the way back up. And then stepping back forward. Taking mountain pose. Let's inhale, lift both arms. And exhale the hands back in front of the heart. And then relaxing both arms. So I'd like to take a revolved Parsochanasana, Pavrita Parsochanasana, so a revolved side ankle. I can show you in a moment. We'll inhale, lift both arms. You'll bow forward. There's your blocks. And you'll step the left foot back, right foot forward. Then we have some options. I'm going to move this block out of the way so that you can see better. We could either bring, and we might all bring, the block on the left closer to the right foot. And then if you remember that lower front rib cage, so my left lower rib cage, I'm turning it towards the top of the pelvis on the right. So I could stay here, and I might go to here. These are the choices. Or I might bring the outer elbow to the outer knee. Back to center. and stepping forward. Okay? So, you've got your blocks, you're ready. Let's inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step your left foot back. You can draw the blocks so they're right underneath your shoulders. There's your low lunge. So these are all stopping points, right? You could stay in the low lunge. You might bring the left hand block closer to the right big toe and bring the right hand up on the hip. Lengthen through the crown of your skull. And as you exhale, turn toward the right. Turn your lower left ribs across the body like you did in Parasochanasana. Here, either take the right arm and come into the revolved Parsochanasana, or take your outer left elbow to the outer right knee and bring the hands into Anjali Mudra. You're going to notice you're going to want that back inner thigh. Then we'll exhale, release back towards the floor. Move the block, inhale, step forward. And exhale, bow. Releasing the neck, releasing any tension in the neck. And then when you're ready, exhale and step your left leg back. Or no, the right leg back, sorry. Whichever, the right. Left foot forward, right leg back. Can you believe it? I already forgot. There you go. So you might bring your block closer to your big toe and the left hand up on your hip. And here you're starting to turn towards your left. You bring that lower right rib cage turning. Yeah. So now you could be there. You might drop the left arm and bring it alongside the ear, or take the elbow or armpit to the outer left knee and the hands in Anjali Mudra. So these are just different options. You're going to want the right inner thigh to be very strong and engaged. Great, great, Lise, cool. Really nice lift. I loved seeing the expanse. And then you'll exhale, turn back towards the floor. Move the block, inhale, step forward. Exhale, Uttanasana. Make those blocks tall. If you need them tall, make them tall. Releasing the neck. And then let's shift the hands to the hips and come to standing. And exhale your hands back in front of the heart. Okay, one more standing pose for our sequence today. And you could use a wall. We're going to take half moon. When we go to half moon, I can have my blocks tall on my mat. And I know, like right now, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to stand on my left leg first so you can see. Before I even go to the pose though, if I'm going to use the right foot to the wall, I'm going to need to figure out how far away so that the right toes just graze the wall. I can't get the whole foot to the wall. I'm gonna actually even go a tiny bit farther away so that when I'm there, I'm having to really reach back. I'm not gonna be straight of my hip over my ankle. I'm gonna be lengthening even farther back. So I'm actually gonna go a little further from the wall again. Okay, so I get that all set up. And then I come back to standing. And if we're gonna work kind of with that midline again, the strength along the midline, and I'm gonna have my blocks probably, 10 or so inches away from me. I'm only putting the right one there as in case I need it, if my balance is off. But we'll start in Tadasana. You'll be facing your blocks, stepping the right foot back. And with the exhale, pick up the back leg to bring the left hand down. And we're coming to half moon. So standing leg is straight. And then do you remember when we were reaching the core of the pelvis toward the lifted leg? Where's the back of the head? Now to come out, I'm gonna release my top arm. My foot comes away from the wall. I make a little bend in the front knee and come up to standing, back to Tadasana. All right. Great, should we try the second side? So you're facing the blocks and you're getting ready to do your second side. So take your left foot back slightly. Or whichever leg you were. It's the new standing leg. Inhale deeply, nice and tall. Exhale, pick up the back leg. And there's that's it. That's it. That's exactly how you want to do it, Ellie. That is same practice. You got it. Yeah. Great. Yep. So standing leg is very strong. The outer hip of the standing leg comes in towards the midline. And then you reach from that core of the pelvis all the way into the raised leg, all the way back. That's it, and that's it, and you'll keep going, Ellie. You can even feel how you're a little close to the wall, right? But that's okay. But you're to really reach the pelvic core all the way into that back leg. Yeah, like that. Great. Yeah, good, Michael. And so when you come out, you give a little bend to the front knee. And you start to transition. There's a transition then to Tadasana. So you bend the front knee and bring yourself to standing like the great Sherry. Cool. Yeah. And there you are. And back in mountain pose. All right. Thank you. So now let's bow forward and let's come down to the ground. Okay. And let's take a supported bridge pose. So let's take one of your blankets. You fold it in half lengthwise. Put that on your mat. So that'll be your shoulders. You've got your two blocks. And let's take a strap and make a loop in the strap. And the loop is probably just a little narrower than the upper arm bones. All right. So that when you, once again, you lie down and you've got the shoulders on the blanket, the head on the ground, C7 on the blanket. You're going to press into the feet, pick up the hips for 1 block, maybe 2 blocks, under the bony pelvis. And then let's take your strap beyond your feet, between your heels and between the blocks and the heels. Palms face each other, press out on the strap so that you can feel when you press out on the strap, there's strength at the back of the tricep. It gives the ability for the top of the breastbone to lift. So you could stay here, or you might go ahead and come up with the legs into just a modified shoulder stand. Lengthening all the way up through the legs. The eyes might be closed. Even whether they're open or closed, turn the eyeballs more like you're looking through the cheekbones, so that at the base of the brain stem can drop back a little more. And then you can take your hands out of your strap, lower the feet, and then we'll lift the pelvis off one of the blocks, and then walk towards the head, so that you can get the blanket to go under the pelvis. Let's keep the knees bent, feet on the ground. And then we'll roll over to one side and use the arms to press yourself up. And let's take Maritiasana 3. So you might sit on a couple blankets or a bolster or something. We'll take a little height. Let's go right leg straight, left knee bent. Left hand behind, and either holding the left knee with the clasp of the elbow, or taking the outer elbow again to the outer knee. And let's take the gaze toward the big toe. So you've got the torso turning again towards the left, towards the bent knee. Feel the rib cage coming around. So the knee, that bent knee side, it really comes towards midline. You're taking the knee towards midline you're spinning around the midline. And then we'll release. And we'll take the other side. Both legs go straight, and then bending right knee. Either holding it with the hand, with the inner elbow, with the outer elbow. So right hand behind, torso's turning towards the bent knee. You feel the rib cage coming around, head turning back towards the big toe, and the knee is hugged to midline. All right, and then we're going to come back to center. We'll take both legs straight. So we're opening the back of both knees, closing the front of both knees. All right. So let's take this into a reclined pranayama. All right, so we've done this practice. We did it before. Let me talk about it a little bit. I'll show you the blanket setup, and we'll do a piece where we first just have a relaxed breath, a long inhale and exhale. You'll count the length of the breath and divide it into thirds. And then from the bottom up, you're going to breathe in 1/3, in 1/3. So there's 2/3 of the breath. And for the last third, you're going to be coming from the collarbones across the top. You're going to feel that last third to meet down towards that you brought the volume up, and now you've increased the volume again to meet up. I'll talk you through it when we're down there, okay? So the setup for this, if I have 2 blankets end to end, not end to end, 2 blankets stacked on top of each other, so they're folded in half lengthwise. I might use 2. And it's probably good to have a pillow or another blanket to be like a pillow there. All right, and then you're gonna sit in front of, on the ground, in front of your blankets. You'll lie back. So you feel the blankets underneath, not the pelvis, and the sacrum is not being pinned against the blankets. You can either take the legs straight, or you could support them with blocks in Parsochanasana. So once you come down to this shape, just go ahead and just do some nice breathing, just relaxed breathing. So I'd like the breath to be in the rib cage here rather than in the belly. And can you go ahead and count the length of your inhale? And the exhale is just a soft, relaxed, released exhale. And then divide the length of the inhale into thirds. So if the inhale was 6, it'd be 1, 2, and then there'd be another 3, 4, and then the 5, 6. So whatever you've got. And then you have that long, soft exhale. And then with the next inhale, from the bottom of the ribs, you go up for whatever a third of your count is. And the next third. And then the last third comes down from the collarbones, shoulder blades to meet that space. And then the exhale goes out softly. And you keep going. There's only a slight pause, very small pause between as you broke the breath into thirds. And then at the bottom of your next exhale, you can release any control on the breath. And if this shape that you're in is an uncomfortable shape for you, you're welcome to change it for the next few minutes of resting. And then taking a moment to remember the millions of things that come together, mesh together, breathe together in order for you to take this next deep breath of air. Just adding a little movement to your body and making a mindful transition to one side. Using the support of your arms to come back up to sitting. Just taking a moment just to notice the quality of your mind. Seeing if there's more expansiveness, expansive like the clouds have cleared and the sky is blue. And then joining your hands together in front of your heart. It's honoring the gift of your presence as we learn to connect without physically being together. We can often ask ourselves, how do I give the gift of my presence without actually being in the same space with someone else? Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And hopefully you'll feel that you've been using some of those abdominals or outer hips in your movement today and strengthening that. All right, I appreciate your being here. And I'll stop the recording in case anybody wants to